Testing. What is going on, my peeps? Your boy Vrsatile is back after hours. Back here with Vrsatile After Hours, episode 23. Yes, took a few weeks off, took a break, been playing a ton of video games, trying to get my photography stuff in order. So now I've been able to find some time and find some news to talk about in regards to this episode. Now, this is the visual podcast. If you haven't already, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, ignite the like button on this video, and make sure you guys hit that notification bell so that way you stay informed when I drop videos. And there's also an audio version of the podcast available on most likely your favorite podcast platform. In this episode, the opening comments are recently, as you guys have seen, I've showcased or unboxed the Sony a6100, and so far I've shot at least 2 videos with it. I already dropped one, which was the Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 keyboard case cover case, and then I shot the upcoming Android 10 Galaxy Tab S6 video with the a6100. So let me know you guys' thoughts about the video quality. Right now, of course, for the most part anyway, you know, I've always been shooting with the A7 III, which I have recording right now, and for me, in terms of video quality, it's not too much of a difference really, because it's the same sensor, of course, just in a crop body or an APS-C body. So in terms of, you know, cropping and all that kind of stuff, it's not actually that bad. Like it's really good. For $600, or now that the deal's over, really for about $750, you're getting a very, very good camera that produces very good video in the a6100. My wife does some vlogging with it and whatnot, and she seems pretty pleased by it. I'll be dropping my, I don't know if I want to call it first impressions or a few weeks later review or video for it, but I'll be dropping that soon, talking about picture quality and stuff like that. So that's in regards to the a6100. I have one keyboard left. I had a couple people come through, buy some keyboard cases for the Galaxy Tab S6. I also got, all right, so I got one, like I said, I got one case left. Y'all better hurry up. Great deal on this. DM me on Instagram or Twitter. I'll get it to you as fast as possible. Now, along the same lines of photography stuff, I did pick up a 5-in-1 reflector light diffuser pack off of Amazon. So this will come in very handy with photo shoots and everything. So I'm actually excited to actually start trying to get this a test run soon. It's been a little slow on the photography side, of course. I'm just kind of starting things out, but you know, it is what it is. It'll pick up at some point. And at the end of this video, after I go through, you know, my comments on the news and whatnot, I'm going to talk about basically like the behind the scenes of how I shot my short film creator's block. I didn't know if I wanted to do a regular video for it or just include it in my podcast. Of course, those who are listening on the audio, you'll probably have to watch the video if you guys want to see me, you know, see the video play as I talk about it. But yeah, I'm going to talk about kind of like how I shot the video, and I eld some blooper stuff I'll probably throw in at the end of this podcast of me trying to make some of those jump shots to like cut in and meld into the video, and then me and my wife trying to act like we waking up out of a nightmare. That was some fun stuff to watch and try to cut up and get a solid take for the film. So stay tuned for that as well at the end of this video. But the first one we're going to talk about in the gaming news segment is Microsoft has discontinued the Xbox One X and One S. That's because they, you know, I was watching a Neo GameSpark and he had made a very good point. They would have like 4 or 5 systems on display at holiday 2020 when the Series X and Lockhart or Series S, whatever it's called, drops. And that's a lot of, I won't say confusion, but it's a lot of all over the place. And for those, you know, trying to consume an Xbox system, it might throw them off a little bit, and it may not help their sales of the Series X and the Xbox Lockhart. So it definitely makes sense as to why they would discontinue the One X and the One S. To me, I understand their vision for their gaming cultures is slightly different from PlayStation, but PlayStation is trying to integrate some of what Xbox is doing. Like Xbox, you know, they've, you know, you could basically access a bunch of Xbox One, or original Xbox, Xbox 360, and then of course the one generation and then next gen, like all encapsulated into like the Game Pass and cloud system, the xCloud, so you can virtually play everything or a lot of different Xbox games across their gaming generation on any system. And I actually kind of think that's cool. Like I'm definitely not mad at that approach, because when you think about PlayStation, if they were to adopt something similar, there's a ton of games from PlayStation 2, that generation, that allow us either, if not want to play, at least want to kind of have in a like some type of collection. So I do like that Microsoft is taking that approach to gaming, and you know, you see that here it's very almost like an Apple move to discontinue their previous product for the new product. That's a very business savvy move. Now, in regards to PlayStation, their vision is generational, which I'm also not opposed to, and I also like, because when you look back, yeah, you may not be able to get to play specific games, but it's so fun to actually go back and recall playing specific games, or just thinking about how dominant or how just broad and good all over the place the PlayStation 2 generation was. Or even, you know, PlayStation was cool, of course, no doubt, but PlayStation 2 was where it was at, you know what I'm saying? And then PlayStation 4 picked that back up. Not to say PS3 didn't have a lot going on, but PS2 and PS4 definitely have came through with a ton of games that, and sequels for that matter, that have really taken things home for PlayStation. And now with the PlayStation 5, you're gonna see that again. Like, yeah, I remember playing what's this, that, and the third. Right now I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima. Great game. Oh man, this game is good. And you know, there might be a sequel in the time period in which they chose to place this game. Like, it's fitting if it did have a second title, and that would be on PS5. But you'll be able to look back on PS4 and be like, man, I remember ending the generation with such and such and such and such, and then starting a new generation with Spider-Man and the new Ratchet and Clank and whoop-de-whoop. So to me, I also dig and like the generational approach to gaming from PlayStation side. And so for me, either one is cool. I'm so used to PlayStation, of course, because I've been in here way longer than Xbox. I was in Xbox very briefly with the 360, but the 360 had hits too. And it was very good to play. It felt very comfortable to play as well. You know, nobody could see me in Madden 08. I just got to throw it out there. Madden 08, it was a rop. But Madden 08. Now, last piece of gaming news is the DualSense showcase via Geoff Keighley, and yeah. This COVID-19 really got us stretching for if not news, creating news, or trying to create hype around a controller. And not to say that the approach wasn't necessarily bad, but it's like, how much can we get as those watching out of somebody else playing with the DualSense controller? All he can do is let us know what he's feeling and if it feels legit. And you know, of course he did, and it sounds like it's good. What PlayStation is selling us is coming through. They demoed Astro's Playroom, which will be on PS5, and it's actually a legitimate game on the PS5 that showcases all the unique abilities of the DualSense controller. And he said the speaker sounds a lot better. It has more oomph in it, and it's more of a quality-based speaker than what was in the PS4. So that's also good news to hear. Not to say that the PS4's controller didn't do good when it did output sound, but it's almost like, I don't know if anybody's ever experienced a Pixel 4 device, or even for that matter Pixel 3. The speakers are legit in that phone. Like, I got a Samsung Galaxy S20. Speakers are decent, but ain't nothing like my Pixel 4 speakers. Them speakers is whoa. They hit hard. So I could see that with the DualSense controller packing more of a punch. He said it feels like it has a little more heft, like because it is a little bit bigger. It's kind of in the direction of an Xbox controller, which is also cool because a lot of people do like the Xbox controller as well. So the fact that PlayStation can adopt a little bit more of a thick and more their controller is also nice to hear. But it's nothing like being on like a showroom floor, being able to play the PS5 whether or not we get to see it, at least have the DualSense controller in our hands and get a feel for it ourselves. So that's something that took place a couple days ago, yeah, I think it was Thursday, I think is when it took place. So it was cool. There's only so much you could do. I mean, we got to see some gaming from the actual playroom. I guess the one question I have is, was he playing the PS5 too? Does he have the PS5, or was it some virtual tie-in for him to play the game? That's my question. I don't know if anybody really took to notice whether or not he was actually playing a PS5 or not. And I actually can't remember whether or not he said he was, but that's a question. That is a question. Now, tech news. Samsung seems to not care about leaks because they leak their own stuff, like accidental pictures posted on their websites, which Google did with the Pixel 4a as well, and we'll get to them in a second. But Samsung has allowed, or does not care about, all this information coming out to confirm specs and details of their upcoming devices. Specifically, even though the Galaxy Watch 3 has had some, the Note 20 series and the Galaxy Tab S7 series. It's been pretty interesting to see and watch. I do plan on trading up my Galaxy S20 to the Note 20. As long as it's got 120 hertz and all that. I'm not overly concerned about the battery, because as long as the battery is at least what I have and I can get some pretty decent charging out of it, I'm not worried about super fast battery charging. I mean, I would like it, of course, but Samsung likes to play that game of, we're gonna put regular charging in this Note, and then we're gonna put some in this Note, and I mean, there's 3, so I don't know if they're gonna do a similar approach as they did with the Galaxy S20 series, where the S20, can y'all hear that? The S20 was like the baby, didn't get the full weight of 5G integrated, but then the S20 Plus and S20 Ultra did. So I don't know if they're gonna do the same thing in terms of like battery charging with the Note series, if there is indeed 3 different Note 20 variants. I might go for the middle one, but I'm really trying to keep it on the smaller side. If it's just a few inches bigger than the one I currently have. The S20 is like 6.1 inches, and I think the smallest Note 20 will be like 6.4. So as long as it has 120 hertz charging or refresh rate, I'm fine with that. It's not that much bigger than what I have. I get an S Pen, which I love and enjoy using on my tablet. So I'm looking forward to using that on my phone, because there's things I'll be doing and I'll be forgetting, and sometimes I'll take my S Pen from my tablet and try to touch my phone screen, and I'm like, yep, I think I need a Note. And then in terms of Samsung phones or products, like maybe I'll still try to get one to review for you guys on the channel, but I think I'm gonna be comfortable with the Note 20 and the Tab S7 when that drops, because I don't really see myself getting any other phone. Like, of course, I hope it's the last Note, and it would be nice if it is the last Note and I get the last Note, and it would be smart. But if Samsung is pricing their Note series like cheaper than like their S series, then it really shoots what I said in the foot in terms of them having a price discrepancy or conflict among the Note series and the S series. And let's not forget to mention the foldable series. I need to get some food. So that's my thoughts on Samsung. We'll see. I mean, we're only about a little bit less than a month away. I think August 5th or something like that. So it's literally like right around the corner. The Google likewise accidentally uploaded a picture of the 4a talking about like battery charging, or the new Google Nest home speaker or something like that, and accidentally, posted a 4a picture. I guess a lot of people are confused about what's going on with the 4a and with the 5, and with the specs being a little bit lower than what we've been seeing. The price is going to be cheaper, this and the third. Look, I'm also still Team Pixel. I've never gotten a free Pixel. That would be cool given the circumstances. But I'm looking forward to the 4a. It looks nice. I like the fact that it's full screen. The Pixel 5, I'm a little worried about, because I like dual motion sense. Now, I've used the swipe feature from time to time. Of course, I don't use it often, but it does come in handy from time to time when you just happen to catch it and it's like, oh, okay, cool, everything's working. So that is something that what I am interested with motion sense was face unlock and its ability to sense when I'm near the phone, and it would wake up the screen, so I didn't even have to touch it, and it would let me know it's like right there. And as soon as I picked it up, I'm good. So hopefully they have found a way to embed those technologies within the full screen or within the camera and not jeopardize or, you know, downgrade there's, you know, security over their face unlock and all this type of stuff, because they've made it a big point, you know, last year, and then, you know, getting companies, developers on board to include those APIs into their login systems and stuff like that. You know, it was nice to see the Pixel 4 finally start being accepted everywhere because of the Soli chip. So hopefully they found a way to make that better for the Pixel 5, and it's actually not gone, because I wanted to see that continue. But with anything Google, it could be here 1 second and gone the next. It's looking like Stadia is going in that direction too. Stadia, poor Stadia. I actually believed in Stadia until like the last minute, and then I backed out because I was like, yeah, I don't know about this. And then sure enough, hasn't been too successful. Sometimes, you know, you can promise things will be there in the future, but don't try to promise things will be there out the gate or be there and ready to go, and then they're not, or the game selection is bad, or you don't have enough games, you know, and that's what will start hurting your product, is when you don't have a lot of that going on. So hopefully Stadia can recover, and they can really compete and challenge, you know, xCloud, and even for that matter, I guess right now PS Now, you know, we'll see. Now, to talk about my behind the scenes of how I shot this short film creators block, let me go ahead and find that real quick, because I might just go ahead and play it. It's probably not a bad idea. I'm gonna play it and make sure my sound's off here, so that way when I play it for you guys can hear the sound just fine. This opening scene is hilarious. I'm gonna put the bloopers in at the end. Where is it? There we go. So it's 6 minutes 35 seconds. I had fun shooting this. I mean, it took a whole day to shoot it, because of course I wanted to show like throughout a whole day, you know, how a creator can go and not create anything and do everything under the sun but create. So that's why I put that. That's why I wanted to take almost 24 hours and shoot the whole thing, and then just cut it down and just highlight specific moments. It's not like I filmed the entire day, but like I just filmed moments of when I was gonna do something or what I would have done at this time. And so the opening scene, of course, is you see me with my, you know, just waking up, you know, the camera approaching me and waking up, you know, just shocked and getting out of bed. And so like I had used the Sony a7 III. I did not have the a61 yet. The a61 came the very next day. So I was kind of mad that I couldn't have been patient enough to use that camera as like my B-roll, my second cam. My second cam was my Galaxy S20. So some shots, like the shot you see where we're talking in the kitchen, and the shot that's on her talking about what she was gonna make, that was from the Galaxy S20. And then, you know, of course, me was the a7 III. All the shots where the camera is in the frame is the Galaxy S20 recording that, and I was using pro video controls to try to make that look as good as I could. And of course, as the day progresses and it gets darker, of course it challenges that little sensor that much more. So that's the approach I took with shooting the short film. I tried to use the Pixel 4 with the voice recorder app and a lav mic to try to pick up the little subtle sounds, like of me opening the drawer with the grabbing my controller. Now I'm kind of just all over the place, but I'm just gonna have it playing. When you might hear my footsteps walking, you know, right after that kitchen scene and waving off the camera. I tried to have the mic down towards my feet to kind of try to hear me walking. The interesting part about the bathroom scene, when, you know, me going in there brushing my teeth and all that type of stuff, is I actually designed the audio for that. So what I guess that's what you would say. But what I essentially did was I found sounds like, you know, glass dropping in a cup, and I used that to simulate me grabbing the toothbrush out of that little mini vase or whatever you want to call it. And then I used like a clicking sound to try to emulate me grabbing the toothpaste. and then there was an actual after, I want to say, a sound effect of brushing teeth. So I, you know, played with the sound levels and put that in there when I was brushing my teeth, and it just so happened to sync with the motion of me brushing my teeth, so it looked and sounded pretty legit right there, and I was glad that took place. There was a scene where I thought in the editor it looked fine, and one time I watched it looked fine, and then I guess but then I kind of made some tweaks and had to make a couple new cuts of the short film. But when I'm in the closet and I'm changing my shirt, I actually had a cleaner edit of me raising the shirt, and then when I dropped it, I had, you know, a new shirt on. It was supposed to be like I raise it, and then of course I drop, change it, and then I raise it again and drop, and it was supposed to be a clean edit. And what happened was it kind of blipped on me. Now thankfully it doesn't look too bad, but if you're paying attention, you'll see there was a moment where like it could have been a little more clean. So that was with the t-shirt changing scene. And then I'm kind of just recalling it through my head. The shot of me, which I don't know why I didn't use it. I used my Galaxy S20. I don't know why I didn't. Oh, because it was charging. My camera was dying because I forgot to charge it the night before. The shot of me actually getting my breakfast was with the Galaxy S20. I was supposed to use my camera for that, but it was dying. It was on the charger. And then after I ate, of course, we went to go play basketball. And this is where like the fun begins, because I wanted to see how I could make this feel action-packed. And so I used the Galaxy A7 III. My wife was, of course, assisting with the handheld footage, you know, catching me and everything. So what I did was I threw an ND filter on there on the Sigma 16, and then it kind of didn't. It was too much space. Oddly enough, I didn't like the wide angle. So what I did was I took the Sigma 16 off and put the 50mm on, the Sony's full frame 50mm, and I don't have a filter for that, so it was just straight light coming in. But what I did to challenge the light was I bumped the shutter speed all the way up, and that gave it a more actiony feel because the blur wasn't natural. It felt very action-packed. And so like some of the things I've been researching and learning, especially with like action-packed scenes, is to actually purposefully shoot a higher shutter speed to create that feeling of like fast movements, jitteriness. And so with the basketball scene, especially when, you know, me dribbling towards the camera and I'm spinning off and it pans to me making the layup, that's what I did. So the whole time, the whole basketball scene really was kind of faster shutter speed. And then of course I tried to slow down. The reason why I didn't shoot from any other angle, because if you pay attention to me shooting, the reason why I didn't shoot from any other angle is because the light was way too much. Had I shot from the opposite side of the court, the sun was right there, so I couldn't shoot from that side of the court. So I could only stay on this one side of the court, and I just tried to change up where I kind of panned in, or when I was, you know, zoomed in on me shooting and stuff like that, to make it look nice and feel cool. All the in-between shots of the basket going in, I shot those separately. So after I went through, you know, acting like I'm shooting, well, I was shooting the ball. It actually made them more when I just did the shot as opposed to just trying to make shots to record. I had her watch the rim and watch me shoot, and that's where the bloopers were coming at the end as well, of me talking, of me missing. I made like the first 2 or 3, and then I bricked for like a solid minute and a half before I made the 4th one. I was so mad, bro. I was so mad because I was hot. I was feeling it, and it was hot too. It's like 90 degrees every day down here now. So that wasn't that fun to deal with. So then that was that. And then it was multiple different kind of shots we tried to get from me drinking my water, me kind of leaning over, trying to catch my breath, and then having that instant moment of camera popping up in my mind again. And I actually recorded that scene and then zoomed in on it. So instead of taking a picture and zooming in, I actually recorded like a 4 or 5 second scene of the camera. And then I brought that shot in and then just panned in on it. I felt like maybe that looked a little better than a picture, of course. And then of course that was with the Galaxy S20 that I recorded the camera. Like I said, every frame that every scene the camera was in, the Galaxy S20 recorded. Now going forward, I'm gonna have 2 cameras. I got the A6100 to also shoot those now and not have to use my phone for the footage, which would be very nice. It would be instant improvement in quality. And then as we get to the other scenes of me sitting down after showering, you know, and grabbing my game and whatnot, A7 III coming through in the clutch, using the lav mic with the Pixel 4 to simulate me open the drawers, you know, catching my audio, and then of course it caught some of the game audio. And then time went by fast because I wouldn't say time went by fast, but I waited to record until I actually played, which was actually about an hour or so later. And by the difference in time, it started getting dark. But what worked for the video was it looked like I had been playing the game for like 2 or 3 hours because it got so drastically dark. And so that also kind of simulated or showed, you know, again, I'm enjoying the day, doing everything, but doing anything creative in terms of a camera, video, and photos. So that's what took place there. And then when I finished with that, I came back, sat down, watched TV, and just couldn't keep the camera off my mind because I wanted to create something. I just didn't know what. And again, just the camera. And if you notice, that's what I want to get to now. When the camera keeps getting closer, you'll also notice the camera lens changes. So if it's not the Sigma 16, it's the 85. It's not the 85, it's the 50 mil lens on the camera. And that's basically kind of simulated, okay, do I want to shoot video? Okay, do I want to shoot some pictures? Do I want to do some portraits? Like, what do we want to do? And so it's really kind of just showing like what's going through my mind in terms of trying to create something, and just I keep coming up empty until the last moment before going to bed. And this short film literally took place for me. Like, I did everything throughout the day, did everything, played basketball, got some exercise, played video games, hung out with the wife, whatever, whoop whoop. And at the last second, I thought, why not I actually create a short film about creator's block? And boom, it happened. Some of the inspiration, of course, came from YC Imaging or Chris Rhodes, because he kind of did a similar film in terms of like the downfall of all creators, and he kind of did something similar. And so that's what kind of inspired me to try to do something for myself and see, you know, from another perspective how creator's block can go. And so he kind of inspired like the bathroom scene of okay, how can I make that my own? And so that was fun. That was cool. And then yeah, I got the bloopers at the end here that'll play of us trying to wake up and act surprised. If you guys caught the after credit scene, kind of Avenger style, you know, it's her waking up out of a nightmare. And I don't know if I'll go the approach of creator's block again, but you know, if there's interest in seeing another short film, you know, that's something I can look into trying to do. In terms of color grade, I don't have like a great color grader you know, program or app that I can use. I use Power Director for everything, and so what I do is try to shoot in a picture profile. And what I try to do was shoot in Cine 4, which actually worked for the most part, but whenever I cut the camera off, I think, or actually, you know what, it didn't change. I don't think. I think it stayed consistent until like I think until the me playing the video games is when it changed. But if I don't switch the profile, yeah, that is true, because I switched the profile from 4K to 1080p 120 to get those slow-mo clips for the basketball scene. But had I not switched it, it actually stayed consistent up until that point. I forgot to stay consistent with Cine 4, so basically half of the film is Cine 4, the other half is HLG3, and that's just human error. I forgot to change it back because my profile was defaulted to use HLG3, and I manually switched it to Cine 4 for this. So that was one human error that I had in regards to the color grading, and it could have been better overall, but I just work with what I can for now, and that's why I try to use picture profiles or creative styles, which is like and I'll try to use autumn or portrait for that. So that's what I did for the short film. If you guys, you know, enjoyed it, you know, let me know down in the comments below, and if you're looking forward to anything else in regards to creating videos or photo stuff, I might do my own. I might do a Lightroom, you know, video soon. You know how I edit my videos in Lightroom. I got some pictures that I've been holding off to do that video, so I'll probably do that video very soon, so I can kind of start getting those pictures out. But that's it for this video. Hope you guys appreciate and enjoyed it. Again, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, ignite the like button on this video, and hit that notification bell so that way you stay informed when I drop videos, and so you can catch the visual podcast. And if you can't catch the visuals, you want to watch or listen to the audio, check your most available podcast platform. You'll find Vrsatile After Hours there. But you are Vrsatile signing out. Until the next video, we're officially closed.
Okay, hold on.
I gotta shake it off.
Wait, stop.
Ready?
Okay. Babe. Please stop.
See, now I'm going.
Yeah, look at you.
See, I was ready earlier.
Yeah.
Now I'm like excited. So I got.
Wait, do that one more time.
No. I need to see this.
Bang, act sleep.
All right.
Okay.
See. Get that corn.
Wait.
You don't get that corn out. You supposed to be like,
Oh.
like you just woke up out of a nightmare.
Oh.
Oh my god. That's so bad. That's so bad.
Okay, one more time.
Alright, that was enough.
Bake.
Oh.
My arms. Bake.
I thought that was going in. Really? You tired?
My arms, yes. Hold on.
God dang. Oh. I'm getting tired.
Bake, come on.
What in the world? You in your free throw.
No. Wait, hold on.
Come on, lift on back up. Come on. That's what you're having the strap is for. So the strap takes the pressure off you. You just hold it out. There we go.
Yay.